The start of the second half, Aaron Monson, Luke KUGR, and our guest Ivan McLennan, who's going to talk about what he's seen on defense. Former defensive end for the Cougars back in 2013. He played with Luke Falk. And so, Ivan,
Yep.
I'm glad you're here, man. It's good to see you.
Thank you so much. Hey, first and foremost, guys, I played with Connor Holiday first, and then I played with Luke Falk.
Okay.
Both quarterbacks is amazing. So I know this is super random, so I had a tweet. I caught a little crap on Twitter this week because I tweeted out that, hey, maybe if I had a mobile quarterback, I would have won an Apple Cup, right? See, I watched last year's Apple Cup. Jaden Delore was the X Factor. This year Apple Cup, as y'all can see, Cam Ward is the X Factor, guys, right? Being able to use his legs, extending plays, scramble for touchdowns, scramble to make the big play to Robert Farrell, right, guys? I'm telling you, especially in the college game, having a mobile quarterback is just awesome, guys. So that's what I'm picking up from the first half offensively. Defensively, as you can see right there, right now, we're not getting no pressure. We're not getting no pressure on the quarterback, guys.
No, we're not. The first play of the game, Michael Penix lobs a 75-yard passing completion to number 11, Jalen McLennan. And like you said, the pressure for the quarterback just isn't there.
Yeah, man. So I was kind of speaking to some buddies over there in the other room, guys, and when I was here at Wazoo, I started off my career having guys like Tony Pole and Xavier Cooper. Mm-hmm. And then after I had guys like Daniel Ekwali, Robert Barber, and, of course, Hercules Mataafa. And what those guys did so well, guys, was they were able to create pressure up the middle for us. So guys like me, Frankie Louvu, Kashay Palacio, Daryl Paulo, it was easier for us to run the edge and get sacks because we knew that them guards and them centers were getting pushed back by some of our D tackles. Right now, we are missing that. For some reason, our D tackles aren't as explosive, especially in the passing game, that I would like to see, which is fine. It's a recruiting thing. It takes time. But, guys, if you're watching the game right now, you see we're not getting no pressure in up the middle, man. I mean, Penix Jr. is literally being able to walk the dog, mow the lawn, bake a cake, and nobody's touching them in the pocket. So that's why the score is like right now, guys, because we're not getting no pressure on them, man. So
the whole honey-do list.
I'm trying to tell you. Hey, I'm trying to tell you, man. I'm trying to tell you. I remember one play. I went out there, shook his hand during the play. He saw a hike. I shook his hand, was able to say what's up to him, got on the sideline. He still completed the pass. So, we got to get pressure on, man. So I don't know what Ward is going to do. Coach Ward is thinking. I'm pretty sure he's game planning right now with Dicker. What do we have to do? Me personally, if I was the DC, and I'm not the DC, but if I was the DC, what I would do more of, guys, is honestly probably just drop 7 and just rush forward. Just because we're not getting pressure, at least try to plaster the receivers and force Penix Jr. to become more of a runner, because right now he's carving this up like a turkey on Thanksgiving.
It's very true what you've said, and I like the Thanksgiving analogy. It's also that's a good way of putting it.
Topical.
It is. So yeah, we've really only seen the Cougar defense rush 3 guys for the majority of this game and dropping our linebackers into some sort of zone defense. But the limit of pressure that we're putting on Penix is just not there.
So I've seen a couple blitzes. So at first I seen us rushing 3 and 4, and I'm like, okay, we're not getting pressure, so let's blitz. And then I seen a couple blitzes, and what UW's counter's been, guys, is going into 60 and 70s protection. And all 60, 70s protection is is having the running back stay in, the tight end stay in, and only having 2 or 3 receivers going on routes. Now, what Penix Jr. does very well, guys, he throws the ball very timely. I think that's the best attribute a quarterback can have, because as soon as he gets back in his drop, the ball is out. And that's what he's doing tremendously right now. So, guys, like I said, I'm pretty sure Coach Ward is in this press box somewhere around here, guys, trying to scheme up something, because it's pretty tough right now, man. We got to be able to stop them, man. Right now, UW is getting their way offensively, and we're playing behind the score. And, it's putting too much pressure on our offense, which, let's be real, lacks explosiveness offensively,
It does. We were talking about earlier in this game as a 3-yard completion to Nakia Watson goes down, and they give the ball back to Jalen Jenkins, who finds an open lane, gets to the 45, and is knocked out at the 47. Great run by Jalen Jenkins, the freshman. We were talking about this earlier on in the first half, how a lot of the times the Cougs wait till 3rd down to take a passing attempt that's more than 5 yards. Absolutely. And when they haven't been, like when it was 2nd and 9 or 2nd and 10, and we've started throwing the ball a little farther, we've been getting those first downs. How key is that to us winning this game?
So, like I said, all that what you just said factors in with the mobility of Cam Ward.
Right.
See now, guys, if he wasn't that mobile, those would turn into sacks. Those would
Right.
possibly turn into picks, right? But since he is so mobile and is able to get out of pressure, right, it's allowing him to, allowing our receivers to basically get behind the secondary and our scramble drill and make big plays. Okay, so I'm trying to tell you what's going to happen and how we're going to win this game, guys, is that we need about 2 stops defensively.
Yep.
Just 2. And we got to keep up the scoring pace offensively, right? If we got the ball with like 2 minutes left and we're down by 2, I like our chances. If we have going to the fourth quarter and we're down by 2 touchdowns, we can call it a game because we don't have the explosiveness as far as like making a big play within a minute frame like a UW offense does.
Right, and we just lost 8 yards with Jalen Jenkins getting tackled in the backfield, and another 2 with the tackle for a loss on DeJon Sterling. It's 3rd and 20. And we've got Cam Ward in the shotgun with 3 receivers to his left, 1 to his right, and Dean Payne in the backfield with him. We'll see what Dean Payne comes into play. We've only seen him on special teams so far.
Well, he's not getting the ball, I'll tell you that much.
I can tell you. I agree with you there. We got
getting the ball, guys.
safeties hanging out around the 50-yard line for the Huskies.
Absolutely.
Cam Ward in the shotgun with Dean to his left. Takes the snap, a 5-man rush for the Huskies. Cam Ward looking downfield, avoids the sack. His mobility is there, and he's still up on his feet somehow, but is eventually taken down at the 36-yard line. Husky sideline is loving it, and it's going to be a quick 3-and-out for the Cougs.
On the 5th attempted tackle, fighting for his life out there?
So, guys, and it's so frustrating because, like, I come from the Mike Leach era, which Morris is way more innovative right now. Like, I've seen him this year. So on my podcast, the Leisure Time Podcast, guys, I've been doing a series called X's and O's. I've been breaking down every single Cougar football game this year through my partners at Coug Fan, right? And what I noticed the most of our offense, guys, and what we lack tremendously is be able to get separation with our receivers. For some reason, guys, our outside receivers particularly, guys, they're not creating separation when DBs are covering them. So, for instance, when we're throwing a 40-yard fade, a 50-yard streak or a fade route, the DB is hip-to-hip to him, and it's never completed. See, I'm used to the Vince Maileys. I'm used to the Don Williams. I'm used to the Gabe Marks, right? I'm used to the Marquise Wilsons, right? Guys that names. anytime, guys, when we seen press coverage, if DBs dare to press one of them without safety help, Connor and Luke, they're checking fades and they're throwing and then completing them. Right now, even in that last play we just saw, guys, before the punt, guys, the last play we just saw, we thought that it looked like they were going to do a 2-man look, but they ended up rolling and doing like a cover 1 look because they do not fear our outside receivers beating them vertically. Like, no way in an air raid offense that a team should go man coverage and not have safety help over the top of number 1 receivers. So that's something in the recruiting game we just got to get better at, guys. We got to be able to get a monster. Not saying he got to be a 4-3 runner, but somebody that can win one-on-one outside fade reps.
Yeah, we could use a Gabe Marks right now.
Oh,
that's
man,
for sure.
Absolutely. Gabe or Vince or something like that, guys. But, man, I'm loving what y'all doing with this play-by-play. This is super cool, guys, for real. Be giving the fans that insight and analysis, right, because they need that, especially people who are casuals, I call them, right, that don't really understand the game, but y'all giving them that knowledge. That's awesome. But this next defensive series, guys, if we don't stop them, I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to be rocky to come back.
It's going to be really rocky.
This is a big defensive series right here.
We want to stop like we saw in the first quarter on that first drive from the Huskies. This has been Ivan McClennan, everybody. Catch him on Coug Fan on his podcast as well. Former Coug, thanks for stopping in. I really do appreciate you, man.
No problem, sir. And that's the Leisure Time Podcast, guys, on YouTube. I'm on Apple Podcasts, guys. Follow my Twitter at Podcast Leisure, or follow our Instagram at the Leisure Time Podcast. Appreciate y'all.
Go hit him up.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Ivan.
Thanks, Ivan.